Hello there, welcome back to my channel Fit the Lit, where we fit literature to its rightful standard. Today we are about to begin with yet another piece of poem included in your NCERT Flamingo. So without any further delay, let us begin. So as I said, we are about to begin with the poem A Roadside Stand, written by Robert Frost, included in your class 12th NCERT Flamingo. And today we are going to cover the detailed explanation, line by line analysis, along with some poetic devices that are used in the poem. Let us start this session by reading about the poet as given in your NCERT. So Roadside Stand is written by Robert Lee Frost. Robert Frost, 1874 to 1963, is a highly acclaimed American poet of the 20th century. Robert Frost wrote about characters, people and landscapes. His poems are concerned with human tragedies and fears, his reaction to the complexities of life and his ultimate acceptance of his burdens. Stopping by the woods on a snowy evening, birches, mending walls are a few of his well-known poems. In the poem Roadside Stand, Robert Frost presents the lives of deprived people with pitiless clarity and with the deepest sympathy and humanity. So the last line, it actually represents the central idea as a trend with the NCERT explanation of the poet's life. You can always see that the last line, they actually give you the central idea of the whole poem. So let us start by analyzing about the poet right from line 1. As you can see again, Robert Frost has witnessed both the world wars, right? World War I and World War II. Along with that, he has also experienced in his lifetime something that we now call as the Great Depression, right? Now, this was an economic, you can say, global event that occurred in the years 1929 to 39, sorry. And in these 10 years, the global economy actually went through a very bad phase. We will read about the Great Depression in the next slide when we read about the context. पहले समझते हैं कि रॉबर्ट फ्रॉस्ट कौन थे exactly. So he is an American poet, right? He is an American poet, and let me just drop all this. So he is an American poet who has witnessed those three events that I explained earlier, right? World War I, World War II, and of course the Great Depression that lasted almost 10 years, right? 10 years के almost Great Depression को भी उन्होंने experience किया है during his lifetime, in his brief lifetime, 1874 to 1963, right? Apart from that, his poems are concerned with human tragedies and fears, his reaction to the complexities of life and his ultimate acceptance of his burdens. So he is a very serious kind of poet in the sense that he is going to talk about the tragedies of life, he is going to talk about the injustice that we face in our life, the fears, the inequality, right? All these things he is going to talk about. Then he also wrote about characters, people and landscapes. So of course, when we read about Robert Frost, we can always say that his poems are actually full of rural images, in the sense he is always talking about the country life meaning the village life. तो village life के बारे में वो constantly बात कर रहे हैं, village life के बारे में वो constantly लिख रहे हैं, right? Along with some complexities of life. Now complexities of life here implies the fact कि लाइफ में बहुत सारे ऐसे इवेंट्स होते हैं विच आर वेरी अनफॉर्चुनेट. किसी का एक्सीडेंट हो गया, किसी की डेथ हो गई, किसी का लॉस हो गया. दीज आर अनफॉर्चुनेट इवेंट्स, येस, बट ही इज टॉकिंग अबाउट कॉम्प्लेक्सिटीज ऑफ लाइफ ऑन अ लार्जर स्केल मीनिंग कि कैसे इनइक्वालिटी ग्रो कर रही है, राइट? इनइक्वालिटी इन द सेंस कि जो रिच लोग हैं वो ज़्यादा रिच होते जा रहे हैं, पुअर लोग पुअर होते जा रहे हैं, एजुकेशन, बेसिक एजुकेशन और हेल्थ केयर नहीं मिलती है लोगों को. दीज काइंड्स ऑफ थिंग्स ही इज गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट, राइट? So these are some of his other works. Stopping by the woods on a snowy evening, then birches and mending walls. These are other वर्क्स दैट आर प्रोड्यूस्ड बाय हिम, उनके डिफरेंट अलग वर्क्स हैं जो कि फेमस है, काफ़ी पॉपुलर है, राइट. And in this particular piece of writing, A Roadside Stand, he is going to talk about the lives of poor deprived people. Deprived meaning the deprived section of our society, the people who even lack the basic necessities to live a full-fledged life, to live a fulfilling life, right? So they will not have enough money to have their shelter, clothing or food properly. So this section of the society can be called as deprived, जो कि जिनको की बेसिक फैसिलिटी भी नहीं वो एक्सेस कर पा रहे हैं, राइट. विथ पिटीलेस क्लैरिटी, सो इज नॉट गोइंग टू प्रेजेंट एनी रोजी पिक्चर कि वो कितने खुश हैं, वो अगर नेचर के आसपास रह रहे हैं, बिकॉज ही इज गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट द कंट्री लाइफ. कंट्री लाइफ हियर मीन्स द विलेज लाइफ, राइट, village life. So he's going to talk about the village life, that how these people survive, how these people are not able to even access the basic facilities that we require for fulfilling life. कैसे उनको एक basic सी necessities जो हैं वो fulfill नहीं कर पा रहे अपनी. And he is going to talk about this life in a pitiless clarity. तो वो कोई rosy kind of picture हमें portray नहीं करने वाले हैं कि जो लोग हैं विलेज के वो कितने साधारण जिंदगी जीते हैं. दे लिव एन ऑर्डिनरी लाइफ एंड दे लिव हैप्पीली, दे आर अवे फ्रॉम ऑल दिस शोबिज ऑफ द सिटी लाइफ एंड दे आर एंजॉइंग देमसेल्व्स. वो ऐसा कुछ नहीं बोलने जा रहे हैं. ही इज गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट इट इन अ वेरी प्रैक्टिकल मैनर, राइट, एंड विथ डीपेस्ट सिंपैथी एंड ह्यूमैनिटी. सो ऐसा नहीं है कि ही इज लैकिंग इन सिंपैथी, ऑल्दो ही इज गोइंग टू प्रेजेंट अ वेरी प्रैक्टिकल पिक्चर, अ वेरी रियलिस्टिक पिक्चर, but he is having a lot of sympathy in his heart for these people who are living in the countryside, who are living in the villages, and they are not able to access even the basic facilities that they should be having, right? Basic necessities of life like food, shelter and clothing. Having understood about the poet, let us try to understand the context. Frost published this poem in the year 1936, right in the heart of the Great Depression. So as I said that the Great Depression, which was a global economic event that lasted from 1929 to 1939, it becomes really important because this is when Robert Frost published this particular piece of work. तो उन्होंने publish कब करी? 1936 में, exactly in between this timeline, 1929 से 1939 के बीच में, right in the heart of Great Depression, a time when desperate Americans. So look at the description कि Great Depression का effect American farmers पे क्या पड़ा था. उससे पहले हम लोग ये समझते हैं कि what was this Great Depression. So Great Depression was actually an economic event. क्या था वो? एक economic event. Now economic event implies कि first of all I have used like first term is economic, the other thing is global economic event था. So global implies कि it impacted almost all the countries in the world. यानी कि सिर्फ एक country का event, एक country को ही effect नहीं हो रहा था, सभी को हो रहा था, right? It was a global event. The other term that I used is economic. So global economic event का मतलब कि ना ही सिर्फ सारी कंट्रीज को इफेक्ट पड़ रहा था, बट एक पर्टिकुलर स्फेयर में फर्क पड़ रहा था. एंड व्हाट इज दैट स्फेयर? इकोनॉमिक स्फेयर. तो यानी कि उनकी इकोनॉमिक कंडीशन पे इफेक्ट पड़ रहा था, राइट. सो एंड व्हाट काइंड ऑफ इफेक्ट वाज इट? इट वाज अ वेरी नेगेटिव काइंड ऑफ इफेक्ट. सो नेगेटिव इफेक्ट क्या था वो? लेट अस ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड. सिवियर ग्लोबल इकोनॉमिक डाउनटर्न, यानी कि अगेन डाउनटर्न मीनिंग कि कुछ नेगेटिव हो रहा था, राइट. एंड सिवियर मीन्स एक्सट्रीम, कि बहुत ज़्यादा एक्सट्रीम ग्लोबल इकोनॉमिक डाउनटर्न था, राइट. सो यानी कि इकोनॉमिकली हालत बहुत ख़राब हो रही थी कंट्रीज़ की. फ्रॉम 1929 to 1939, so it lasted almost 10 years. The period was characterized by high rates of unemployment. तो अब हम उसको नेगेटिव क्यों कह रहे हैं? Because there was high rate of unemployment, high rate of poverty and drastic reductions in industrial production. तो अगर प्रोडक्शन ही नहीं है तो ऑफ कोर्स एम्प्लॉयमेंट भी नीचे ही रहेगी, राइट. देन इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड भी ऑलमोस्ट खत्म होने लगा. जब सारी ही ग्लोबल इकोनॉमीज, व्हेन ऑल द कंट्रीज आर फेसिंग सम इकोनॉमिक इशू, तो ऑफ कोर्स ट्रेड की तो बात ही नहीं रहती, राइट. and widespread bank and business failures around the world. See, whenever there is a hit in economy, एक चीज हमें rescue कर सकते हैं, and that is the banking sector, क्योंकि वो हमें loan दे सकता है and the businesses can thrive again. But here in this economic depression, the great economic depression, what happened is कि line by line हर एक जो हमारा economic institution था वो failure की तरफ जा रहा था, राइट. सबसे पहले एम्प्लॉयमेंट कम हुई, देन उसके बाद ऑफ कोर्स प्रोडक्शन कम हो गई क्योंकि हमारे पास कंज्यूमर्स ही नहीं है, पैसे खत्म हो गए मार्केट में, एंड देन ऑफ कोर्स हमारा इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड खत्म हो गया, और बैंकिंग फेलियर भी साथ में हो गया कि जो एक सेक्टर हमें लोन्स दे सकता था वो भी खत्म हो गया, राइट. सो दिस वाज द कंडीशन, दीज वर द फैक्टर्स दैट लेड टू द इकोनॉमिक डिप्रेशन. सो ऐसी सिचुएशन में ऑफ कोर्स विलेज साइड, जो कंट्री साइड है, वो ज़्यादा सफ़र कर रही है, राइट. So he was writing in the time when the farmers were affected a lot, and of course a time when desperate American farmers were indeed giving up and relocating to cities, hoping for more work and better lives. So here also he is writing at a time जब farmers actually में ये चीज़ सोच रहे थे कि they should be relocating to cities in order to get some work, in order to get better lives for their children and for themselves. So of course farmers are trying to relocate, okay, hoping for more work. Okay, the poem speaker has painted conflicted feelings about the countryside. So we can when we read the poem we will try to understand कि कैसे he is experiencing pain, he is experiencing sympathy and pity for these countryside people. लेकिन साथ ही साथ में एक conflicted feeling भी है कि whether they should move out to the cities or whether they should remain in the villages, कि उनके लिए कैसी लाइफ होनी चाहिए आगे. So this kind of conflict is also showcased in this particular poem, right? Let us not forget the starter activity and observe these two pictures. Just observe these two pictures and try to analyze that what exactly do they showcase, right? Option A and option B. I'm giving you 20 seconds. Just try to analyze, because on the basis of these pictures I'm going to ask you a few questions for which you need to answer in the comment box. So of course for option A it is actually representing the city life, and option B is representing the country life, right? The city life in the sense that people are lined up at the entrance of a mall. They are waiting to enter the mall and maybe buy something and have some fun. And option B represents the city life, wherein we can see that there is this roadside stand. So yes, this is the roadside stand. That is the title of the poem, right? So this is the roadside stand, and the owner is silently waiting for some customers, right? He has opened his roadside stand, he has started his business, but he is having no customers, right? So this is your contrast challenge. Question 1, try to answer this one. Which of these two places gets more visitor? So of course it is option as per your understanding. What could be the option? Option A or option B? Of course it is option A. Right? So it is option A. And which one actually needs them more? So of course we know that option B requires a better customer turnout, but we have the turnout at option A, that was the city life, the mall, right? This is what Robert Frost is also concerned about, that in city people are just lining up, people are lining up just to enter the malls, just to have or just to witness the luxuries of the city life, whereas the customer turnout in option B, that is the countryside, is extremely less or negligible as compared to the city life. So this is what he is going to talk about in the poem Roadside Stand also, right? Let us begin with the line by line explanation of the poem and try to understand it deeply. The little old house was out with a little new shed in front at the edge of the road where the traffic sped. A roadside stand that too pathetically pled, it would not be fair to say for a dole of bread, but for some of the money, the cash, whose flow supports the flower of cities from sinking and withering fade. So this is the first 6 lines. First 6 lines of the stanza 1, right? So we are introduced to the roadside stand. So roadside stand basically means a stand, a small shop, a kind of shed shop, you can say, a kind of shed which is placed near the road side. रोड के एकदम साइड पे है, राइट, एज पे है. तो हमें रोड साइड स्टैंड टाइटल से ही पता चल गया है कि जो स्टैंड है वो इट इज अ काइंड ऑफ टेम्पररी काइंड ऑफ बिल्ट, राइट. इट इज अ काइंड ऑफ टेम्पररी मेकशिफ्ट अरेंजमेंट लाइक दिस वन, राइट. सो यू कैन सी कि एक टेम्पररी काइंड ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर बना लिया है फार्मर ने, एंड ही हैज पुट अप द स्ट्रक्चर नियर द रोड साइड. तो उसने स्टैंड को कहाँ पे रखा है, एकदम रोड के साइड पे, एज पे, राइट. Now let us try to understand the first line. The little old house. Now we are introduced to this little old house. तो ये house जो है basically farmer का है, right? The farmer generally, what do the farmers do is that wherever they have their farm, वहीं पे अपना वो साथ में घर बना लेते हैं, so that they can take care of the farm properly, right? So the little old house, the farmer is having a very little kind of house, बहुत छोटा है, and it is very old in the structure, कि बहुत पुराना बना हुआ है, right? Was out with a little new shed. तो of course the owner of the house is the farmer. तो farmer ने एक new business अपना setup किया है, new shed setup किया है. So the shed actually refers to this, ये roadside stand, right? तो उसने एक वो shed बनाया है एकदम road side के, एकदम road side पे, road के एकदम edge पे, right? And of course the shed is also little, छोटा है साइज में, कोई ऐसा एकदम ह्यूमंगस लेवल पे, इतने इनॉर्मस लेवल पे उसने कोई शॉप नहीं सेटअप करी है, ना बिजनेस सेटअप किया है. इट इज अ वेरी लिटिल काइंड ऑफ शॉप, राइट, एंड इट इज न्यू इन स्ट्रक्चर. तो ऑफ कोर्स उसने अपना पैसा उसमें लगाया है, ही हैज मेड एन इन्वेस्टमेंट, सो ही हैज सेट अप दिस शेड which is new in the structure in contrast to his old house. तो हमें फर्स्ट लाइन में वो contrast दिख गया है that the farmer has spent a lot of money on the shed in the hope to get some profit out of it, right? In the front at the edge of the road where the traffic sped. तो उसने ये shed को place कहाँ किया है, उसने अपने ये छोटा सा जो shed बनाया है उसको place कहाँ किया है. So as you can see in the picture, the shed is placed at the road side. So this is the road, right? This is the road, and उसने एकदम edge पे, edge means corner, एकदम side पे road के अपना stand को place किया है. Now why he has placed this stand at the road side? Because he wants to attract as many customers as possible. अगर farm के बीच में होगा तो of course customers कैसे ही आएंगे. So he has placed his shed near the edge, near the side of the road. उसने एकदम side पे लगा दिया. The road where the traffic sped. Of course, the traffic is speeding through the road. This road. The traffic is going through this road. When we also visit the mountains or the hills or any other places which are not occupied by city people as such, or which are not characterized by the city population, हम लोग भी ऐसे देखते हैं कि नॉर्मल जो खाली रोड है हम उस पर स्पीडिंग करते हुए जाते हैं, राइट. सो हियर ऑल्सो द ट्रैफिक इज स्पीडिंग, इंडिकेटिंग द फैक्ट कि ह्यूमन पॉपुलेशन यहाँ पे कम है, ह्यूमन प्रेजेंस यहाँ पे कम है, राइट. अ रोड साइड स्टैंड दैट टू पैथेटिकली प्लेड. So the roadside stand here seems to be pleading. Now the word plead here is actually the second form of verb. The second form of the verb plead. Now plead means to request. So the roadside stand seems to be requesting something. हम poet को ऐसा लग रहा है that the roadside stand is requesting something. And what is it requesting? It would not be fair to say for a dole of bread. Now dole of bread means charity. So the poet or the speaker says he is not asking the roadside stand or the roadside stand owner is not asking for some charity, give us some donation, give us some money for free. वो ऐसा charity नहीं मांग रहे. And also the request is made in a particular manner, और वो क्या है, pathetically. So they are asking in a very pathetic manner, in the sense कि they will make you feel pity or sympathy for them. तो ऐसा लग रहा है कि वो रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, दैट टू पैथेटिकली, इतनी ज़्यादा रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं कि यू विल फील पिटी एंड सिंपैथी फॉर देम. सो द रोड साइड स्टैंड एंड द ओनर, दे सीम टू बी प्लीडिंग. और वो क्या रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं? ऑफ कोर्स दे आर नॉट आस्किंग फॉर अ डोल ऑफ ब्रेड. डोल ऑफ ब्रेड, द फ्रेज मीन्स चैरिटी. तो वो चैरिटी या डोनेशन के लिए बात नहीं कर रहे हैं आपसे, या रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं आपसे. दे आर आस्किंग फॉर सम ऑफ द मनी, द कैश whose flow supports the flower of cities from sinking and withering faint. Now try to understand these lines in a better level, in a better manner. So he is not, the roadside stand owner or the roadside stand is not pleading for any charity. So what exactly is it pleading for? तो क्या request कर रहे हैं? They are asking for some of the money. They are asking to have some money, to feel the same kind of cash, to have in their hands the same kind of cash जो कि support करता है, whose flow supports the flower of cities. Now flower of cities here implies the liveliness. The liveliness of cities. So he says that this particular roadside stand seems to be requesting for something. और वो क्या request कर रहा है? That they want to experience the cash, they want to experience the kind of money जिसकी वजह से the city is able to uphold the liveliness that it has. So whenever we think about cities, we always think about, the malls, the roads which are well lit, highways के बारे में हम सोचते हैं, right? What are the images that come to our mind? Malls की आती है, cinemas की आती है, बड़े बड़े grocery stores की आती है, right? Fancy parks, amusement parks, these are the images that come to our mind. So of course the city life automatically is registered as lively. तो हमें क्या लगती है? वो ज़्यादा lively लगती है, full of energy, full of enthusiasm. So the roadside stand owner wants to experience the same cash, the same money that keeps the city images, that keeps the cities lively, right? That keeps the city or the liveliness of cities maintained. तो कोई एक चीज़ है जो कि maintain कर पा रही है, and what is that? The money that is given or invested in the cities, the money that city people have, right? So the roadside stand owner wants to feel that same kind of cash in his hands. He also wants to have that same kind of money that might help him live a full, prosperous life, right? So the phrase withering faint describes a feeling or condition where someone becomes extremely weak and is almost about to collapse. So the flower of cities, the liveliness of cities never seems to collapse. वो कभी भी ऐसा wither नहीं कर रही है, कभी भी वो ऐसा मुरझा नहीं जा रही है. The term withering means मुरझा जाना, right? So it is generally used in reference to flowers or plants. So when they are about to die, when they are about to collapse, तब हम बोलते हैं कि मुरझा गया पौधा, right? So here the poet says that there is some cash, there is some money that keeps the liveliness of cities always maintained, and this is the money that the roadside stand owner wants to feel, right? Wants to have. Let us move forward. So as you can see here, these are the images that I have included for better clarity. So you can see that this particular area is actually the farmer's house. This particular area is actually the farmer's house, and this is the little shed. This is the little shed that has been placed by the farmer near the roadside stand, near the road, sorry. So this is the small shed, this is the small roadside stand that has been put up by the farmer, and this is his house. And of course this is the zoom in of the roadside stand, that it is placed at the edge of the road, again at the edge of the road. So these images are just indicative and are included for better understanding. ऐसा literal translation नहीं है poem का, but yes, with the reference of these images you can understand it better कि यहाँ पे उसका घर है farmer का, then he has placed his roadside stand just near the edge of the road, एकदम corner पे रखा है road के, और यहाँ से हमारा traffic जा रहा है. And why he has put up this roadside stand near the edge? In order to gain more customers, in order to attract more customers. And this is what the front of the roadside stand looks like. तो ऐसा वो दिखता होगा front में, right? Of course, let us move forward. Next few lines. The polished traffic passed with the mind ahead, or if ever aside a moment, then out of sorts at having the landscape marred with artless paint of signs that with end turned wrong and as turned wrong, offered for sale wild berries in wooden quarts, or crooked-necked golden squash with silver warts, or beauty rest in a beautiful mountain scene. So here we get to know that first of all, in the 6 lines the poet talked about the perspective of the roadside stand owners, कि उन्होंने क्यों अपना रोड साइड स्टैंड वहाँ पे प्लेस किया है, और कैसे अपना क्या होप है उनके दिल में और दिमाग में when they have started this roadside stand. Now he is going to talk about the traffic which is speeding through, यानी कि वो city people के बारे में बात करने वाले हैं, right? So what is the reaction? What is the reaction of the polished traffic? So polished traffic here implies very sophisticated kind of people. Now polished traffic, again the poetic device of transferred epithet has been used here. So traffic basically implies the city people. The polished traffic implies the city people. So when they are passing by, and polished of course can refer to the luxurious cars that we have, right? The luxury cars. So they are not just sophisticated in the sense that they have different set of mannerisms, but they are sophisticated in the sense that they are very expensive. They look very expensive and rich, okay? So the polished traffic passed with a mind ahead. So they are preoccupied. They are preoccupied. And what are they preoccupied? By the destination, with the mind ahead. So they are preoccupied to reach their destination. So they do not even bother to see or to look at the roadside stand. वो देख भी नहीं रहे, वो attention ही नहीं दे रहे बिल्कुल भी. This is what happens generally whenever we are on a vacation. We try to reach the destination as soon as possible. Only a few of us are there who enjoy the road trip as such. But हम लोग भी ऐसा चाहते हैं कि हम भी जल्दी से पहुँचे vacation की destination पे, whatsoever the destination is. तो हम लोग sides में देखते ही नहीं है कि क्या हो रहा है और क्या लगा हुआ है, right? Or if ever aside a moment, then out of sorts at having the landscape marred with artless paint. So Robert Frost says, or the speaker says, that जो reaction है city people का, that is very negative. In the sense कि पहली बात तो वो ध्यान ही नहीं दे रहे, right? They are preoccupied with their destination. The second thing is, if ever they try to look at, or if ever they happen to look at the roadside stand, then what is their reaction? Then out of sorts. Out of sorts meaning they get irritated. When they look at the roadside stand, they get irritated. Why? At having the landscape marred. Marred meaning destroyed. So according to them, the roadside stand has completely destroyed the landscape. The landscape or the beauty of the scene has been completely destroyed by the roadside stand. Why? Because it is having artless paint. Of course, these poor farmers, they cannot afford to have very expensive kind of marketing strategies. They cannot put up posters, they cannot put up, you know, signboards or billboards like that, fancy billboards which we are used to see in the city. Rather वो तो अपना छोटा सा अपने you know wooden board पे लिख के चिपका देते हैं अपने हाथ से, right? This is what they do. So of course the paint that their signboards have, that is artless, right? Not scaled to perfection, वो perfect नहीं है. Of signs that with n turned wrong and s turned wrong. So of course जो उन्होंने स्पेलिंग्स भी लिखे हैं या फिर जो उन्होंने ग्रामर भी यूज करी है, वो साइन बोर्ड्स में वो ऑलमोस्ट गलत ही है. तो कई तो उन्होंने साइंस भी गलत लिखे हुए हैं. एन कहीं पे उन्होंने उल्टा लिखा हुआ है, कहीं पे एस उल्टा लिखा हुआ है, मिरर इमेज या रेप्लिका बना दिया है, राइट? Offered for sale wild berries in wooden pots. Now try to understand here that the next few lines will tell you कि what exactly are the things that these roadside stand owners are offering, right? So what are the things? They are offering wild berries in wooden quarts. Quarts meaning wooden boxes, right? So as you can see in the image, this is the image, the wild berries in the wooden boxes. Then crook-necked golden squash. So crook-necked golden squash ऐसा दिखता है. Crook-necked meaning जिसकी जो गर्दन है वो थोड़ी सी टेढ़ी है, right? So squash, golden squash ऐसा दिखता है. So the next thing that they are offering is, of course, the crook-necked golden squash. The first thing was the wild berries, right? With silver warts. Warts meaning वो जो white धब्बे होते हैं इस पे, right? Even in fact, if you try to search it on Google, you'll see a lot of images of golden squash having white, silver colored warts. तो white color के उस पे या silver color के you can say धब्बे होते हैं, and this is what the golden squash looks like. But ये क्योंकि organically grown है, the shape and you know the appearance is not that much appealing. Okay. Or beauty rest. The third thing is the beauty rest in a beautiful mountain scene. So the third thing that they offer, the roadside stand offers, is that you can have some snacks there, or you can have some berries there, or you can, you know, just stay there for a few seconds and enjoy the scenery. This is what they are offering. The beauty rest in a beautiful mountain scene. You have the money, but if you want to be mean, why keep your money this costly and go along? Now these two lines are actually spoken by the narrator. The narrator says, you have the money. He's talking to the city people, right? He's talking to the city people directly now. And he says that if you have the money and if you want to be mean, so mean basically means unkind, right? So he says, although you have the money, but if you want to be unkind, then why keep your money and cross and go along? The narrator says that if you have the money and if you still want to be unkind to these roadside stand owners, then you should just move along. You should not even bother to look at them. कि सीधा तुम चले जाओ अपने रास्ते, right? But you have no right to judge. To judge just because they have artless paint. To judge just because they are, you know, selling things which are not very good in appearance. And this is a statement that the narrator says in a very annoyed manner, crossly, right? In a very irritated manner, right? Just to summarize these particular lines, let me just rub all this first. So just to summarize these few lines, in these lines, the poet is trying to look at the behavior or analyze the reaction of the city people. So first of all, he says that the city people are completely preoccupied with their destination and they do not even bother to look at the roadside stand. But out of those, 100%, maybe 90% of the people, they remain preoccupied and they just pass by. They do not even look at the roadside stand. But even those 10% who stay, they stay just to express their annoyance, their irritation, right? So they are staying just to express their irritation. And what is the irritation all about? That this roadside stand has completely destroyed the scenery with their artless paint, right? We will see what this artless paint refers to. तो जो आर्टलेस पेंट उन्होंने किया अपने बैनर्स पे और जो उन्होंने गलत सिंबल्स बना दिए हैं और गलत अल्फाबेट्स बना दिए हैं अपने पूरे उसमें साइन बोर्ड्स में, उस पे वो इरिटेशन अपना एक्सप्रेस कर रहे हैं, राइट? The next few lines talk about the things that these roadside stand owners are selling. So what are they selling? They are selling wild berries, then they are selling golden squash, and they are also offering beauty rest in beautiful mountain scene. You can also take some moments of rest in your long journey and enjoy the mountain scene. This is also something that these roadside stands are offering. But of course, looking at the behavior of the city people, the narrator gets angry and the narrator directly says or directly conveys to the city people that if you have money and if you still want to be unkind, then it is not your duty. You should just pass by, because you have no right to judge these roadside stand owners. They have done whatever they can and there is no judgment that you should be making, because they had stopped for expressing their irritations, right? Okay, let us move forward. Now again, this image I have included just for the sake of understanding. Look at this image. Look at this image properly. This again is this is again a modified version of the previous image, and it showcases similar the house, right, the farmer's house. Then it showcases the roadside stand, and of course the signs that I was talking about. कि वो क्या क्या बेच रहे हैं. Wild berries, then crook necked golden squash, and of course beauty rest. But look at these spellings. ये क्या है? Squash के spelling. This is what I was talking about. Then beauty के spelling, right? And quartz के spelling. So because the farmers are uneducated, they have even spelled the things wrong on their signboards, right? The spelling errors are there, the grammatical errors might be there. So this is what Robert Frost meant when he was saying of signs N turned wrong and S turned wrong, right? So for better understanding, you can just take a screenshot of this particular image. Let us move forward. Now again, the narrator is speaking. The lines are again spoken by the narrator. He says, "The hurt to the scenery wouldn't be my complaint, so much so as a trusting sorrow of what is unsaid." So he says that whatever destruction or whatever damage or harm that these roadside stand owners do to the landscape, that is not my complaint. My complaint will not be that they have put up a roadside stand which is obstructing the view, जो कि एकदम view खराब कर दे रहा है mountain का. मेरा वो complaint ही नहीं है, right? But it is the trusting sorrow of what is unsaid. So trusting sorrow means the unspoken disappointment. The unspoken disappointment किसका हो सकता है? Of course, the village people. So he says कि my complaint is not that these roadside stands are actually damaging the viewpoint or they are damaging the beauty of the landscape, that is not my complaint. He says my complaint is related to the trusting sorrow of what remains unsaid. So trusting sorrow basically implies the unspoken disappointment that these village people are having, right? And what is that village people, what is that disappointment? Here, far from the city, we make our roadside stand. We here refers to the farmers. So that now the farmers are speaking directly and they are expressing their disappointment. They are expressing their sorrow, right? And what is that sorrow? That here, far from the city, we make our roadside stand and ask for some city money to feel in hand, to try if it will not make our being expand and give us the life of the moving pictures promise that the party in power is said to be keeping from us. So he says that here, far from the city, we make our roadside stand, that we have invested or we have initiated a business. And what is that? We have started this roadside stand. So this is the disappointment, that they have started this roadside stand and they want to feel the city money, but they do not have any customers. This is the major disappointment, right? That they do not have any customers. So the farmer explains that we have made our roadside stand and we ask for some city money. Now city money is again the money that belongs to the city people. They want the city people to be their customers, right? The money from the rich city folk that the poor villagers hope to earn. So they want the city people to become their customers and buy some goods out of them so that they can also earn some extra amount of cash, extra amount of money. So they want to feel the city money in hand, to try if it will not make our being expand. Now make our being expand here implies that they are also able to enjoy a prosperous life, right? Expand our being to live more fully, more opportunities and more comforts. So of course farming as a profession must be giving them some profits. They must be making some profits out of farming. But that is not enough to live a luxurious life or live a comfortable life. They can hardly make their both ends meet. वो लोग hardly एकदम survive कर रहे हैं on that amount of profit. So they want that with this side business, that is the roadside stand, they should be able to experience some comfort, some luxury in addition to what they are earning, right? They want an additional income. ऐसा नहीं है कि वो लोग एकदम survive ही नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, but they want an additional income and they want that additional income in the form of the city money, and give us the life of the moving pictures promise that the party in power is said to be keeping from us. So he says, the farmer community says that we are having this disappointment, that we are extremely hopeful to feel that city money in our hands through the roadside stand or by selling our produce to the consumers directly. This is what we want. But that kind of money or that kind amount of customers are not showing up because people do not buy from us. That is the disappointment, right? And they also want to experience the life of the moving pictures. So life of the moving pictures promise, that basically means the life that is showcased in movies. In movies generally we see that wealthy people are showcased, that their life is extremely extravagant, or वो लोग आराम से they are able to survive, they are able to travel. So this is what they want to experience. This is what this farmer community also wants to experience. And according to them, this kind of life is something that is kept away from them by the present government. That it is because of the government policies that they are not able to live that kind of life. So this is their disappointment, that they want some city money but the customers are not showing up. And secondly, this life that they have envisioned for themselves, जो वो देख पा रहे हैं अपने लिए या फिर जो वो imagine करते हैं अपने लिए, this life is actually kept away from them by the government policies, by the same government that has been elected by these people only. कि गवर्नमेंट भी उनके लिए काम नहीं कर रही है, द कम्युनिटी दैट शुड बी वर्किंग इन देयर बेनिफिट वो भी उनके लिए काम नहीं कर रही है. सो दिस बिकम्स द ट्रस्टिंग सॉरो, द अनस्पोकन disappointment, right? So this brings us to the end of stanza 1. That was a huge stanza and we have tried to cover the whole of it. Let us now move forward with the next section. And before that, check your understanding and try to answer this question on your screen. What kinds of things are sold at the stand? Very easy question. If you have listened to the detailed explanation properly, then you should be able to answer this particular question. I'm giving you only 15 seconds. Just write the main words in the comment box. That is it. Only 15 seconds. Alright, so this is the answer. Of course, he is selling the wild berries. The roadside stand. Then, of course, the vegetables, the golden squash, the crook-necked golden squash with silver warts on it. And then finally, they offer the beauty rest. Some beauty rest in the beautiful mountain scene. So, these are the things that the roadside stand is offering for sale. So this brings us to the end of part 1 of the lesson.